Whoa. I wanted to make this video to record the end of my journey of finally fixing hormonal acne on the chin, jaw, and spreading to the neck. And I've chosen a bright sunny day to show you all my imperfections. So there's no hiding. These were the areas where I used to have the acne. I do now have scars, but no more spots. I have corrected the problem without any medication, all completely naturally, and I'm going to go through those steps of how I did that, so stay tuned. First step, determine what is driving your hormonal acne. There is always a root cause and a reason. I really recommend that throughout this journey you get some supervision. Don't just try guessing what your problems are through Google, because you're going to end up causing way more damage. Now, with my symptoms, and I did a little bit of testing, I figured out with the help of my nutritionist that the root cause of my acne was insulin resistance driven. This meant that my insulin hormone wasn't working as well as it could do. It was sluggish. I would get majorly hangry, like to the point where I was going to kill someone if I didn't eat every 1 to 2 hours. This showed that my blood sugar levels were massively dipping after I ate something. So they would rise and then they would crash. Different women will have different root problems. Your hormonal acne could be also thyroid related, it could be inflammation related, or even just post-pill, after coming off the pill and you need to balance your hormones. I am not you, so please don't take me solely as the answer. You need to get it personalized to you, and that's where a nutritionist can help, because they will take into consideration the full picture. Diet. For me, what worked well was upping my protein levels in the morning and lowering carb. This meant that after fasting for a whole night, I wasn't spiking those blood sugar levels like I was previously. I used to eat porridge for breakfast every single morning religiously, thinking that it was healthy, and yes, it is healthy, but maybe not at that time in the morning for me personally. So I switched my breakfast routine up with a lot more eggs, even some meat, and loads of veg as well. So less carb, higher protein, more veg. And this meant that I wasn't getting hungry up until lunchtime, which was a real big change for me. Before, at around 10:45, I'd be like, okay, when's lunch? Throughout the day, I was making sure that I wasn't leaving too long in between meals to keep those blood sugar levels balanced. The day for me looked like a large breakfast, then I could probably hold out until lunch, have another large lunch, then 3 to 4 have a snack, and then again a dinner around 6 or 7, and that would do me just fine. And I did that regularly for maybe about 2 to 3 months, on top of cutting out sugar, cutting out gluten, which is inflammatory, and minimizing dairy as well, which can have some hormone altering effects. If you're cutting out food groups, you need to do this under supervision. I wouldn't recommend doing this yourself, because it can lead to some orthorexic type eating behavior disorders, which is something I experienced, so please get that help. Environmental toxins. So there are many chemicals in our beauty products, our cleaning products, all out there in the air pollution outside, and we want to minimize the environmental toxins as much as possible so our body can focus on healing rather than getting rid of all this extra rubbish that we're putting on top of what it needs to fix, and it's just an overburden. A lot of these chemicals are also estrogen mimickers, which can upset the estrogen progesterone balance. I have a video of really easy beauty essential swaps you can do that are completely natural, and also DIY all-purpose cleaner, so check those videos out if you want to change that rapidly. Another few things you can do are castor oil liver packing. This is something my nutritionist recommended to me. It's a traditional Ayurvedic technique to cleanse the body. It really stimulates the liver to work efficiently to get rid of all the toxins. Another thing I did to help my liver was cut out alcohol, which didn't suit me anyway. I wasn't really a heavy drinker anyway, and I decided that, you know what, I'm just going to cut it out completely, and I think this has also been a really big factor in helping my skin. And lastly, we want to drain the lymphatic system, increase our circulation with dry skin body brushing. Frog in my throat. If you have taken antibiotics, and you probably have if you're not feeling great because other things tend to go wrong. Me at the time, I had a bad ear infection and I would get ill a lot. So I did take antibiotics for an ear infection, and so after that I was in need of a probiotic. I wouldn't recommend long-term use of a probiotic capsule. It's better to get them from wild ferments on a longer term, such as kombucha and sauerkraut. This way you're really varying the gut microbiota and the microbiome. Billions and trillions of bacteria that you're feeding, good bacteria in your gut that will help strengthen you. You also want to be getting outside into nature, getting yourselves into different ecosystems with all the different bugs and bacteria. And I've got a video on this specifically, my lake picnic video, so check that out if you're interested in the microbiome. Supplementation. Now, supplementation is a delicate one. I do not recommend doing this by yourself. Again, supervision and help of a nutritionist to gauge from your symptoms or testing what you were deficient in, especially if you're not buying organic. The soil quality is decreasing rapidly with the use of these chemical fertilizers, and there is not going to be enough of nutrients we need in that soil, hence not enough in the vegetables. So it may look like a juicy red pepper, but it doesn't have the same content as maybe organic juicy red pepper. The pill also depletes you of nutrients, unfortunately, so if you've been on the pill for a long period of time, you most likely are deficient in vitamin Z and zinc is really beneficial for your skin health. Sleep. Our bodies can only regenerate and heal when we're sleeping, so we really need to prioritize this, and an easy way to do it is to get into that circadian rhythm by going to bed at the same time every night and waking up at a similar time. It's hard to do at the weekends, I know, but try as much as you can to get a regular rhythm. Magnesium can be really beneficial if you're struggling to get to sleep because it's a muscle relaxant, and also Epsom salt baths as well before you go to sleep. If my head is still quite busy and I'm still not ready for sleep, I will put on a yoga nidra sleep meditation as I'm going to sleep. Ariadne Kapsali, who I always recommend, is an amazing one. And it's really important to have a nice voice when you're doing that, and basically what happens is that you go through the whole entire body and you shut down everything and imagine things in your head, and I'm telling you, I'm asleep 5 minutes in. So I was editing this video and I realised that I forgot the most important step of all, and that is stress management. You can do everything that I've suggested, the diet, the supplements, the detoxification, but if you haven't tackled your stress that you're feeling, it's never going to go away. The acne is always going to be there, and your hormones are always going to be out of whack, out of balance. My symptoms of acne started after a big breakup, and I don't think that's any coincidence. I think that grief and that trauma, as well as coming off the pill, triggered that into full-blown. And then on top of that, to combat the feeling sad and, you know, depressed, I started going climbing, which for me, although it was great that it made me feel strong, it made me feel like, yeah, I've got life, I'm doing this, woohoo. Being on the wall without a harness, because it was actually bouldering, it stresses the body out. You think you're gonna fall. You think you're gonna die. Your body doesn't know any better. So in hindsight, maybe that sort of exercise wasn't the best for this condition. Instead, I needed to really focus on yoga and meditation, which, yeah, I know is obvious. Everyone says how good it is for you, but seriously, that deep breathing, it physically tells your body that it's okay, because how is it meant to know otherwise? You think these bad thoughts, you're anxious, your heart rate starts pulsating faster and faster. It doesn't know the difference. You need to tell it through the deep breathing that it's okay. So don't just think, oh yeah, breathing, heard it all. No, deep breathe, because it makes a difference. Whew, let's take a deep breath now. Please go with your intuition as well, even if your doctor is saying, yeah, take this, take that, you know, you're fine once you take this. And if you don't feel comfortable with it, seeing all the side effects on the back of that box, don't do it. Only you know you the best. And with the help of a nutritionist, with some guidance, with support, you'll be there. It may take a little bit more time, but it's worth it when you're not using any medication, no Accutane, nothing, no birth control, no pill, and you're acne free. I see a lot of videos where to combat acne they're recommending a new product or a new serum, something to use externally, when really ultimately the problem is within. What is affecting you inside to make this happen? This is a strategy to help heal from inside out. These things combined over a long period of time, I'm acne free. I do get a breakout now and again when I'm stressed or maybe a certain time in my menstrual cycle, but it's nowhere near as bad, it's not constant, and they're not as big. So I'm happy. Thank you so much for listening. If you've made it all this way, please support by liking, commenting, and sharing this to all of your female friends who may be struggling with similar issues. Reach out if you're struggling alone and you really don't know where to turn. I may have some suggestions. Happy healing, and you'll get there.